Are you in bronze or silver and you have a really, really high win rate on a champion, but you just can't seem to climb? Like you have, let's say, a 62% win rate on Zach, but your overall win rate is on 52%. How do you climb? How do you get that win rate up? And how do you start gaining more LP? In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be breaking down the biggest things that are holding really gold and below players who are one tricks or have found a champion they really like. What's are the key problems holding them back from climbing to their goal ranks? Whether it's just going from gold to platinum, bronze to silver, or taking a big leap like bronze to platinum, I'm going to be breaking down the next 10 minutes exactly what you need to do and focus on, and depending on your statistics, what else you need to do and improve on. Before we get into that profile review, however, if you're interested in getting your own profile reviewed, please check out the link in the YouTube description below. You can book your very own free profile review just like this. As well as if you're interested in the paid coaching solution I talk about. It's kind of like a personal trainer for the gym, but instead of the gym, it's for League of Legends. I follow you month on month, getting you from whatever your starting rank is to your goal rank. In this case, this guy wants to go from bronze to plat. I build out the whole plan for you. We do monthly game reviews, goal tracking, statistical analysis, and each month we break down the biggest things holding you back from climbing to your rank. If you're interested in that, please check out the link in the YouTube description below as well, where you can book a free one-on-one call with me over Discord, and I can talk to you about exactly what that kind of solution would look like for you, your goals, your champion pool, and the biggest areas that you need to improve on. Let's get into the profile review. Currently, you are bronze 3, Zach maining mid laner, and your goal is to get to gold and then to platinum. So your first goal is to go from bronze 3 to gold and then eventually to platinum. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be really focusing on the 3 key things, and there really is only 3 key things most bronze players need to do to firstly climb to silver and then keep refining those 3 things in order to eventually climb to gold. Now, the good thing for you is generally a lot of bronze players that I'm looking at when they're playing mid lane is they're dying too much. Now, something that I've noticed with you is your deaths are really low. Anything below 5 average deaths a game is actually a really good sign that you've found a really good champion. And the fact that you've got a 3.93 KDA on Zach, a 62% win rate, I mean, he's just clearly your ticket to climbing into silver and gold. So when we're looking at improving in League of Legends and when we're looking at climbing, it's very important to separate how good you are across multiple champions versus how good you are on 1 or 2 champions. Because when I recommend players to climb, and it's the easiest way to climb, is you focus all your attention on 1 to 2 champions. Ideally 1 champion, and you basically one tricker. And the reason for this is everything is concentrated and 10x'd in return when you're just focusing on one thing. Not 10x, but you know what I mean. Because let's say, for example, you're trying to learn Irelia, Akali, and Zac all at once. Completely different playstyles, all 3 of them. And so if you play 1 game Zac, 1 game Akali, 1 game Irelia, there's not much transferable knowledge that you're going to be able to take away from your Zac game, use it in your Akali game, and then use it in your Irelia game. So really what you're basically doing is it's like trying to learn 3 languages at once versus just learning 1 language at once. And what we want to do, particularly when you are a player who wants to go from bronze to silver to gold and eventually in platinum, is we need to be looking at the most efficient way for you currently in your current state, in your current play style with your current champion pool, how we can get you to your goal rank in the fastest amount of time possible. That's my job. And then your job is to contextualize that in your experiences and your understanding of the game and apply it how you want to apply it. So take the bits of advice you like, don't take the bits of advice you don't like or that you think are too hard, and you will eventually build basically a strategy to get to your goal rank. So the big 3 things we're going to be talking about are your champion pool, your laning phase, and your CS per minute. Now, these are the big 3 things besides deaths that mid laners generally struggle with, and win rate. But we're going to talk a little bit about your win rate because it's quite unique. So the first thing I look at when I see a bronze account who's struggling to climb with a 52% win rate over 120 games is I look at their champ pool and I go, what is the highest win rate champion that this player currently has? And can he play more of it? So right now you have played about 78 of your 120 games on Zac with a 62% win rate. Now picture this. Imagine if you played 100% of your games on Zac at a 62% win rate. Instead of being bronze 3 right now, you would already be in silver 2 just by having a clearly defined champion pool and by one tricking. Now, obviously, you're not going to get mid lane every time, and Zac has been a popular ban/pick. So you probably can't play Zac mid 100% of your games, but I reckon you could play 80 to 90% of your games as Zac mid. And again, I'm looking at this from the lens of how could I give you the best advice for you to climb in the fastest way possible. And that would be one-tricking Zac and playing Zac as much as you can. So a strategy I recommend, given that you're so good on Zac in mid lane, I would theorize that you're going to be pretty good at Zac in top lane, pretty good at Zac in jungle, and pretty good at Zac in support. So what I would do is I would be queuing up primary mid and then secondary, whichever of those 3 roles you think you are the best at, and be objective and the one you think you can play Zac to your best ability. So top lane, you can play Zac, he's viable. Jungle, you can play Zac, he's viable. Support, you can play Zac, he's viable. Zac is viable in all 4 roles, even after the most recent nerfs, up until, I would say, D3, D2. So you're not going to have a problem with your champion pool, you just need to play more Zac. So, in bronze right now, Zac has a pick rate of 4.5% and a ban rate of 5.6%, as you can see. So 10% of your games, you're not going to be able to play Zac. However, what I want to see is 90% of your games being played on Zac from now on until you reach your goal rank. Because Zac is your key out of bronze, is your key out of silver, is your key to getting gold for the first time, and is going to be your key to climbing to platinum and eventually beyond. You just need to stick with it, grind it out, because bronze to platinum is a long journey. It can take multiple seasons, and you just need to focus. And we need to get this win rate up to 55%, but that will take care of itself if you main Zac. Now, the issue you're going to have is, well, what do you play when Zac is banned for those 10% of games? Because 1 in 10 games, it's not that much when you think about it in a day, but over an entire season, if you play 300 games, that's 30 games of those, which could be the difference between going from bronze 3 to bronze 1. So, it is a significant difference over an entire season. So what you're going to need to do is find a backup champion that you can play in mid lane. Now, I don't have the answer for you here because I don't have much data on any other mid laner you can play at a comfortable level. I mean, Akali at a 33% win rate. You've got an Irelia here at a 60% win rate, but your stats don't seem that good, which makes me think maybe it's just a bit of luck that you've got Irelia. And also I can see in your recent match history, 1, 2, 3, 4, your last 4 games you haven't played Zac. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but please go back to Zac, stop playing Cassiopeia, go back to Zac. What I would recommend for you is you need to find a second champion for your mid lane. And you could do basically any of the champions in the top, I would say top 15. And so what I would do is I would pick one of these in the top 15, probably not champions where they're very niche, like Singed, Gragas, Akshan, Renekton, Twitch. I don't like those champions in the mid lane. I think they're a bit cheesy and, you kind of need to one-trick them or dedicate a lot of hours. What I recommend for champions like you, for what you're trying to do and for your goals is I'd recommend something like Annie, Anivia, not Cassiopeia. She's too micro-intensive. Not Gragas. You could try Gragas if you really like it. Something like Swain. Galio has a similar-ish playstyle to Zac, which you could really enjoy. Ziggs is also good, and that's really all I would recommend. And basically, with that champion pool, with playing Zac 90% of your games, you're going to be able to climb at least to gold this season. Now, the second thing we've got to talk about is your laning phase, because I am looking at your mobalytics right now, and I can see, on average, in your 75 games of Zac played this season with a 61% win rate, you're only coming out of laning phase 50 gold ahead. And you've said a problem you have is you tend to roam too much, causing me to lose crucial XP and gold, and maybe even shoving too much. Now, those are really good points, and they could be contributing to this gold difference at 15, only being plus 50 gold. When I see a Zac with a 61% win rate, I'm generally wanting to see a gold difference of plus 200 to 300, which is suggesting that you're able to establish an early game lead consistently. Because you play so much Zac, you should be able to do that. Chances are, in bronze, you're versing players that just don't have as much champion mastery as you do, which means you should be able to punish them harder than only coming up 50 gold ahead on average. Like, that's like 2-3 minions at 15 minutes. That's not a good lead. So what you need to figure out in laning phase is, what are you doing wrong that is causing you to only get a 50 gold lead? Are you dying too much in laning phase? Are you not CSing enough? Are you roaming too much? These are the things I can't answer in a profile review, but these are the things in your head that you can probably understand. And to be honest, I think your CS is a bit too low. For bronze, this is okay, but when you get into silver, this needs to be up to about 5.5. And I guarantee you a lot of the CS you're missing is in the early game, and that's when it counts most, not only to establish an early game lead, but also to be able to transition into mid game, late game, and win more games. Now, the good thing is, with your gold difference at 15 at only plus 50 gold, you're still able to maintain a 61% win rate on Zac, which is phenomenal. Anything above 55% win rate on a champion is really, really good. And the fact that you have like a mediocre laning phase and you're still able to win 61% of your games is a really, really, really good sign. And if you can do that with any champion, you should be very proud of yourself and be very happy with that. And understand that that champion is going to be something that's key for you to climb in League of Legends, not just this season, but for the rest of your playing journey. So that's the second big thing you need to focus on, and you need to identify what the issues are in your laning phase causing you to do that. The third thing that you need to focus on, and this is what I touched upon earlier, is your farming. Right now, this is probably one of your biggest threats to your win rate and to your ability to climb right now is your farm. 4.9 CS per minute, again, is okay in bronze, but if we're wanting to become a silver, gold, and eventually a plat player, we need to be getting our CS much better than this. So I would be aiming initially for a 5.5 CS per minute by the time you get to silver. By the time you get to gold, I want that to be at about 6 to 6.5. And then by the time you go from gold to platinum, I want to see that at about 6.5 to 7. So not a dramatic difference, but over a course of a game, that's about a 1 to 3K difference, depending on the game length, which is quite significant. That's the difference between an item or two. So, Gavin, those are the big three things you need to focus on in order to climb to gold as your initial goal, and then eventually the platinum. Now, if you listen to this profile review and you're like, I think I can do that on my own, I'd say, great, go out, have a go, see where you can get. However, you have said you're interested in paid coaching, and something I would recommend for players like you who have found a really good champion and you're now trying to develop good champion mastery, you're trying to remove bad habits, and you have doubts in yourself, like, you're saying you're sometimes roaming too much, or you lose too much XP, or you don't know how to manage your waves. Those things can't be solved in a profile review, and generally a lot of players struggle to solve those things on their own, and even through educational YouTube videos. So if you've tried that route of like skill capped, or you've tried, looking up YouTube videos and they're just not working for you, what I recommend is some one-on-one coaching. And one-on-one coaching can take many forms, but for someone like you, what I would recommend is basically a monthly coaching plan. And basically what that is think of it like a personal trainer for the gym, except instead of lifting weights, we're helping you improve your game through goal setting, game reviews, and tracking your statistics month on month to see where the biggest areas for improvement are, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and what do we need to fix in order not to get you from bronze 3 to platinum overnight, but to get you from a bronze 3 level to a bronze level, bronze 1 level, to a silver 3 level, to a gold 4 level, to a gold 2 level, and eventually into platinum. Because we don't want to change you from a bronze player to platinum overnight, but we do need to make sure we're removing the biggest barriers that are stopping you climbing right now, tomorrow, and in the future. So if you're interested in learning more about that, it is a paid coaching solution, but it includes monthly game reviews where we go through your gameplay together, break down exactly what's holding you back, and then I develop action plans for you to focus on for the whole next month on the biggest areas you need to improve, and go from there. It also includes goal setting, so monthly goal setting, what things you need to aim for, where you need to be by the end of the month, as well as statistic tracking. So understanding, okay, if we're focusing on improving your laning phase this week, we need to be tracking your goal difference at 15 and make sure it's improving month on month. So if you're interested in something like that, Gavin, please, once you've watched this, reach out to me on Discord and we can go from there. Overall, mate, you've got a really good chance at getting to gold and platinum. I just want to make sure you don't waste it. So if you feel like you can't stick to that strategy I've told you, and you feel like you can't learn the things that I've been talking about on your own, please reach out to me. I can help you get there. If you're willing to do it, if you're serious about climbing, let's do it together. So cheers, good luck on the Rift, and I hope to talk to you once you've watched this.